Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
2nd and 8, ball on the 36-yard line. Redskins territory. Cohen Watson, the senior quarterback from shotgun, takes the snap. He fake hands off. He's running it up the middle himself, and he's got nothing but daylight as he crosses the 50-yard line to the 40, the 35-30, the 25-20, the 15-10-5. He's gone. Touchdown, Redskins. Cohen Watson strikes first as it's 6-0 here at Community Field.
Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest running high school sports show in Indiana. I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting as WKVI will always be here. We have our good friend Chris McGowan. What's happening, man?
Not much. Had commencement ceremonies last night at Tri-Township, so did my sponsor duties there, and here I am this morning. Here
you are this morning for our final Saturday Sports Line of the 2022.
You believe that?
I don't believe it. I was going through the highlights. We're going to play some highlights throughout the year. You just heard a highlight from a Knox football game last fall. So we're going to have different highlights throughout the year. It's just been a fantastic season. We will be announcing our Athlete of the Year in the second hour. We'll have a chat with Tim Roth. Man, the tradition continues.
That's right.
We're also... We'll catch you up with some scores from last week. We talked with several of our baseball teams. They were in action in sectional play. Tough loss for the Tri-Township Tigers. 14-4 was the final. We had a chat with head coach Mike Shinrod. Thought things were going to go a little bit differently, but Marquette Catholic got the better of the Tigers. We also saw the South Central Satellites Baseball Club fall to Hebron 14-4. Of course, they had the first round bye. And then the Culver Cavaliers, while they won their first game against Oregon Davis in a tight one, 7-6, they go into the semifinal round and fell short to Triton, 3-1 in their cross-county rival. So, very young team there at Culver, but they're looking strong. They ended the season off well.
Yeah, and that game went 11 innings.
Yeah, unbelievable. Extra innings. So Culver really came on strong at the right time, and right. I think those young guys are ready to go for the next season, next year.
I think they're only losing one senior off that team. So, very young team, but look for great things from them next year.
Yeah, Coach Mike Pazin's got to be happy with his boys. We also saw the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays Baseball Club fall short in the semifinal sectional round to Wheeler. 6-4 was the final. As we also see the West Central Trojans fell short to Southwood. 7-3 was the final, and very unfortunate there as that happened. And we also see Kennedy Jackson. She is going to state from Culver. She will be competing in the state tournament in the shot put. So we wish Kennedy Jackson good luck today. She qualified for the IHSA state tournament. She also is the new school record holder in shot put. So we congratulate Kennedy Jackson, another great athlete here in the Kankakee Valley area. Also, news from South Central. We saw head coach Zach Coulter step down and resign as head coach of the baseball club. Quick note from him. He says he wishes the entire South Central program and school well. He said he gave it the best he could. And athletic director John Haggard has confirmed that news. We also heard from Eric Spear. He has stepped down as well as head coach of the basketball program. We posted his statement on our Twitter page at KVB Sports. And we're going to go through all the athletes of the week throughout the year. We had a lot. We had a lot throughout the year that we wanted to get through. And just wanted to mention all of them in order from the top, from the very top, from the beginning, back in the fall. We started off with Bianca Weezar, a golf player from Winnemac. She was a junior. Then we went into Aldrich Harper, the senior quarterback at North Judson-San Pierre. We also then had Giselle Villegas. She was a soccer player for the Culver Cavaliers. Then the South Central runner, Zach Kimmel, a junior. The following week, we then had Katie Bryan, a senior from Oregon Davis. She was volleyball team, Then we had football quarterback Connor Marlatt for the West Central Trojans, a junior. Then we had the co-athletes of the week from Knox at the girls golf team. The next week was Avery Hendrickson from Tri-Township. Of course, you remember Avery Hendrickson. You had a chance to coach her for quite a while.
4 years, yeah. Had a great game and had a great year. Tied the school record 3-pointers made in a season. So just a great girl to be around and a great human being, and definitely going to miss her next year, that's for sure.
It's really kind of somber. You kind of heard me breaking up there a little bit. Just kind of sad that it's all ending, this year. It's just kind of coming. It's kind of sad, really.
It is.
We're going to try to cheer up here a little bit as we see the Winnemac Warriors was our next. Colby Wagner, a cross-country runner. Of course, Colby, we know him. He did well in track this spring. Then we saw David Rassa, the cross-country senior for North Judson-San Pierre. Then was Shane Schumann, the senior for the Culver Cavaliers football team. And, of course, he broke the rushing record at Culver this year. We congratulate him. Then the South Central volleyball player, Hope Welsh, a junior. The following week, on November 12th, we announced Sarah Thompson, the basketball player from Oregon Davis, a freshman, Sarah Thompson. And then Annika Smith from West Central. Miles McLaughlin, the freshman from Knox, and he's got a bright future. We all know about him. Chloe Roush from Winnemac. The following week was Sophia Frazier from the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays basketball team. Then Rose Peterson from the Cavaliers girls basketball team. Olivia Marks from the South Central basketball team. Vivian Turner from the Oregon Davis swim team, senior. Then we had Tyler Roth, WKVI Co-Athletes of the Week from West Central. That was Bryson Anga and Aiden White. The following week was Declan Austin, a senior from the basketball team at Knox High School. Then John Malco at Winnemac High School, a junior on the basketball team. Garrett Mertz was the following week at Tri-Township for the boys basketball program. Then Ty Schumacher for the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays. Wait, I didn't say Garrett Mertz. Did I say Tri-Township?
Yeah, yes, you did.
Tri-Township for Garrett Mertz. Then North Judson-San Pierre, Ty Schumacher. The following week was Hayden Lute, swimmer for the Culver Cavaliers. Then Connor Frazier, a boys basketball player from Oregon Davis. Then wrestler Hayden Fritz from West Central. Then Ella Dollahan, freshman gymnast from Knox. Of course, she went all the way to state. Then also Briley Rust, a freshman softballer at Tri-Township. Chase Keller, a track athlete at Winnemac. Jaden Erb, a junior softball player at West Central. Caleb McEwen, one of those freshmen we just were talking about on the Culver Cavalier baseball team. Then Quentin Frazier, a baseball senior for the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays. Kiana McCarty, a junior softballer for the Knox Lady Redskins. Lexi Johnson, a sophomore softballer for the South Central Satellites. Then Connor Danford, the senior from the baseball program at Oregon Davis. And finally, our current athletes of the week, our co-athletes of the week this week, were Eric Materna and Kelson Jordan, seniors on the track and field team at North Judson-San Pierre High School. They are also competing at state as well. So that's all our athletes of the week throughout our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week throughout this 2022-2023 season.
Yeah, you just go back and you can think about, I remember when we did that one. I can remember when we named that one. I can remember, and it's just seems like yesterday we just had our first show, you and I together, doing this Saturday on Saturdays. And
I listened back to it the other day. It was awful.
So you're saying we're making progress?
We're making progress.
Okay, good.
And every time I think we are, I listen back to it a month later, and I'm like, okay, maybe we're not making progress.
Oh man, I tell you what, though,
baby steps.
It's kind of like watching game film. The eye in the sky never lies.
Right.
It's never as good as what you thought it was, and it's never as bad as what you thought it was. So,
yeah.
But again, hey, we're making strides.
Baby steps. Well, we're going to have a totally different Saturday Sports Line this morning. We are going to have our co-athletes of the week, Kelson Jordan and Eric Materna interview coming your way up next. We're going to have our Where Are They Now segment with Harold Welter to start the second hour. We're going to talk with Brett Lambert, head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre track team in this hour. Also, Gary Baxter, North Judson-San Pierre softball head coach. Then we're also going to have an old friend of ours on to talk about the Cheryl Welter Senior Showcase. I think you know who that special guest may be. Stick around. This is the final Saturday sports line of the 2022-2023 season here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Drew McKaig with the ball. Bryson Anga picking him up full court now. Oh, stolen by Bryson Anga. He picked the pocket. Here he comes for the layup, and he gets it to go. Wow. Oh, my goodness. What a play, Bryson Anga.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we've been serving family farms for over 130 years. We've seen our customers succeed in good times, pull through in tough times, and we've learned some lessons along the way. So we appreciate the customers we have today by finding the solutions they'll be looking for tomorrow. Are you ready to talk about your farm operation? Stop by a branch or visit us online at ffbt.com. First Farmers Bank and Trust, Equal Opportunity Lender, member FDIC.
Now let's return to more of the Saturday Sports Line with WKVI Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
As the Red Devils are going to kick this one deep this time, it's going to be Jake Conroy deep to return this one from the 10-yard line. He brings it back, cuts over to the 30. Now he's got a hold of the 35-40. Now he cuts back over to the 45-50. Now to the 45-40. Now to the 35-30. 25-20. 15-10-5. Touchdown, Jake Conroy. That's a Knox Redskin touchdown. Big time response from the Knox Redskins. And you see Knox Redskin Nations on their feet, fist pumping. They like that.
Time to talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI co-athletes of the week, Kelson Jordan and Eric Materna, track stars from North Judson-San Pierre High School. Had a chance to sit down and talk with both of those young men last week, as my gosh, they made it all the way to state. Kelson in the long jump and Eric in the 400. Here's my sit-down interview with Blue Jay seniors, Eric Materna and Kelson Jordan.
First off, Kelson, good morning. Thank you for meeting up with me so early. What an opportunity you have right now heading in. You've qualified for state. Same with you, Eric. Wanted to make sure and get this interview in to finish out the year. First off, I'm just going to ask both of you. With you, Kelson, first, how you feeling right now?
It feels great, man. I was really close last year, but to actually get there this year, it feels amazing.
Eric, I know you've been here before, man, but how does this feel now as a senior?
It feels good because knowing it's your last year, it's your last opportunity, and if you mess up, then you don't have another meet.
Talk about track and field. I know you're not just a one-sport athlete, but it seems that something clicks with you when it comes to track. What is it about this sport that you really enjoy?
Mostly that you're just in your own element out there. I know it's a team sport, but it's also an individual sport, and so you got to prepare yourself and do what's best for yourself at sometimes.
Same question, Kelson. I know you're not a one-sport athlete. What is it about track that made you want to join the track team and then not only this, do so well?
At first, I really wasn't a fan of track because I'm still kind of in basketball mode at the beginning of the season, but once we get into a bit of track, I get more competitive. I stay wanting to win, so mainly just the competitiveness of it.
Well, when I look at why we're here, conference champion in the long jump, in the 200 you have the conference record and the 4x100 relay, sectional champion in the long jump and 200, regional qualifier in the 4x100 and 4x400 relays as well, and then there last Thursday night, qualified for state, jumping 22 feet 1 inch, placing second, but you still get to go to state. I mean, when I read all that off, I don't know how you're able to do it. I mean, you just must be really a special athlete. How in your mind, were you able to accomplish all this?
Like I said before, it's all competitive, like wanting to win and wanting to get it more than all the other people.
What is it that you're most looking forward to in state?
Seeing everybody how good they are, and it pushing me to get this school record, which I'm very close to.
Well, let's talk about that school record. You have your eye on it, it sounds like. What is it exactly?
The record here is 22 feet 3 inches, so I'm only 2 inches away.
So 22-1, it sounds like you weren't satisfied with it. You were happy, but you weren't satisfied.
I'm glad I got there, but I want more.
Well, we turn to Eric now, conference champion in the 400 with the conference record in the 4x100 relay, sectional champion in the 400, regional qualifier in the 100, 4x100 relay, and the 4x400 relay. And then, like Kelson did last Thursday, qualified for state in the 400 with a time of 49.93. I mean, do you guys sleep? First off, but seriously, when you hear all that and you know what you've accomplished, what's that make you feel like, Eric?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel that we had a great training by our coaches and that we didn't take the season for granted and we really worked for it.
Well, you talk about not taking the season for granted. You were undefeated in 2 events throughout the regular season. Kelson was undefeated for 3 events throughout the regular season. I mean, when you're that dominant, I mean, that's how I see it, dominant. When you come back out at the next track meet, what's in your mind that's telling you you're still not good enough?
The competition. I feel like the competition will always be there and it'll always push me. I mean, even when we verse smaller schools that don't have the best runners, I still get nervous and still makes me want to do my best.
It seems like when I talk with athletes that do so well like yourself, they're never satisfied and they always want more. Where do you think that competitive itch comes from?
I think it just comes from being a great athlete, being a good competitor, and realizing you only got 4 years in high school and you want to make the most of it.
I got to ask you, Kelson, what is it about competition to you? Where's that competitive itch come from in your mind?
I think it's about the same as Eric, just not taking your time for granted in high school and just wanting to shine as bright as you can throughout your 4 years.
You're going on to play basketball at Elmhurst. Talk about what track and field has done for you conditioning-wise for the basketball floor.
I think it's made me a lot more athletic, and it's worked on my fast twitch so I can jump higher, run faster like a spurt.
You're moving on to Marian University after this in the fall. I know you guys are really thinking about state right now, but just thinking about all your accomplishments here at North Judson. You guys had your last day of school this past week. Talk about what, being able to go on and do something that you love, like track and field. What's it like knowing that you're going to be able to continue this in the fall?
It feels great. It feels like, I'm only halfway over. Even though I've had 4 years, I still got 4 more years.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys are looking forward to the new relationships that you'll meet. Talk about the friendships that you have here at North Judson-San Pierre. We'll start with you, Eric, how they will always be with you.
I have a lot of friendships here at North Judson. For example, Kelson, he's my block holder, and he always gives me a pregame speech on I need to do my best and all that, and I think it really does mean a lot to me.
Talk about your relationships here, Kelson, what it has meant to you to get you to this point, and then also looking forward to building new relationships in the future.
Some of these kids here mean the world to me, man. They've helped me through a lot of stuff. Like Eric, he calls me out a bunch and when I don't do my best in long jump, so it pushes me to get better.
When you're getting ready for state, you want to at least get 22.3, correct?
Yep.
So when you get 22.3, will that be an accomplishment for you, or will you want something more after that?
Well, it'll be an accomplishment, but obviously I'm going to want even more than that. I want that record to be untouchable.
Never satisfied, Kelson Jordan.
Never.
Well, let's talk about school here. These 4 years, you mentioned it, Eric. 4 years total here at North Judson-San Pierre. It's over. You've got your state here at track, and then that's it. That'll be your high school career. I know it's a lot to think about, but at your time here at North Judson, just put it into words what it's meant to you and what you'll always remember.
It's been a crazy ride. There's been a lot of ups and downs. Like my freshman year, we didn't really get to have a track season, so we didn't get to work at anything then. Never got any high school competition, but the rest of the years were all fantastic, and it was truthfully a blessing.
Eric, same question. Try to think back all the years you've been here at North Judson-San Pierre, maybe even before high school. I mean, what has this community meant to you, and what will you think back on the most?
It means a lot to me, but definitely the teachers and coaches I feel have prepared me for college and will put me in the best situation.
What are your parents' names?
Eric and Brandy Materna.
And talk about the support system that they are for you.
They are my biggest supporters, but also my biggest critics. So when I do something wrong, they're going to tell me, but when I do something good, they're going to tell me too.
What'd they tell you after you qualified for state?
They said I did good, but they think I still could have did better, because tying for second is, they think I could have got 0.1 faster, I mean.
So maybe this is where the competitive itch comes from.
Yeah, definitely.
Kelson, what are your parents' names?
Chris and Shannon Jordan.
Talk about the support system that they are for you for a sec.
They've supported me through everything, and at first, at the beginning of the track season, I was leaning against not doing it, but my mom pushed me to continue on because she ran track in high school, so they helped me a lot with everything.
What was your favorite event in track, Kelson?
Definitely the long jump.
And it's showing to be true. Eric, what's your favorite? I don't know what yours got to be. It must be all of them, but what is your favorite event in track and field?
It's definitely the 400 meter, but the pain is almost unbearable at times at the end of a race.
So what are you telling yourself, and I'll ask you this question too, when you're in that much, when you're running like that, like you say, you're in pain, what are you telling yourself in your head to subside the pain and keep pushing forward?
Normally when I run, I almost don't think about anything. When you ask me at the end, I don't know what I thought about. But last night, definitely down the home stretch, I was thinking about going down to Bloomington.
Really?
Yeah.
That was what was in your mind?
Yeah.
Kelson, what were you thinking about? What do you think about when you're running or you're jumping and you just are tired and you don't know if you can get that extra inch? What do you do in your head to push past?
Well, I tell myself I'm just not letting these kids beat me. I'm getting in front of these kids. And last week was the first time I ever ran a 400. And the only thing in my mind is I'm not letting my team down. It was a 4x4. I'm like, I'm not letting my team down. I'm not getting the slowest time.
What does it mean to Kelson Jordan to be a North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay?
It means everything to me. I mean, every little inch around this town has supported me and Eric through everything we've done, through basketball, through track, academics, everything.
What does it mean to Eric Materna to be a North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay?
It means the world. Like Kelson said, the supportive community, teachers, friends, it makes you a better person overall.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on being our Tyler Roth Co-Athletes of the Week, and good luck in the future. Good luck at state, and go get them.
Thank you.
Man, I want to thank those two young men for getting together for that interview, as I also want to thank Athletic Director Michael Sharkozy, always setting me up with everything I need over there at North Judson-San Pierre, as we are going to take a break and come back. More sports talk coming your way. This is Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. This is Wyatt Stowe, who kicks it back to Kelson Jordan for another three. Ho-ho! 16-4, and Kelson Jordan's on fire.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Life is busy. At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that your time is valuable. That's why we offer mobile banking, online account opening, and mobile check deposit. So you can take care of your banking and get back to the people who matter most to you, while we take care of the people who matter most to us, our customers. Visit us online at ffbt.com to learn more. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
This time, I'd like to congratulate senior Cheyenne Allen on becoming the all-time leading rusher.
And you can hear the PA announcer, Nathan Radke, announce as the kick is up and away. No good, but they don't care here in North Judson. It's all about Cheyenne Allen breaking the rushing record here at North Judson-San Pierre High School. It happened today, September 9th, 2022. An amazing event here we've been a part of tonight. We're so glad to be here.
And that's an incredible list to be sitting on the top of. And there's still a lot of football left to be played is the scary thing. What's that final number going to be when the Blue Jays season comes to an end, whenever that might be?
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest running high school sports show in Indiana. Right there, you heard the call from Cheyenne Allen breaking the all-time rushing record there at North Judson-San Pierre High School. We have head coach of the track and field team, also the head coach of the football program, Brett Lambert, in the house. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning.
Glad you were able to hear that call.
Man of many hats right there.
Man of many hats. And, well, before we get with you about what happened at State, Brett, wanted to go through the list of all of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Year. At the beginning, at the start of the show, we went through the list of the entire Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week. Now we're talking about the Athletes of the Year, and this goes back to 2002, where the first Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year was awarded. He was a senior from North Judson-San Pierre, and his name was Dan McGowan. You know him, Chris?
Just a little bit.
You know him, Brett?
Oh, yeah. I definitely know Danny.
Well, there are very many people that don't.
Well, he was our inaugural Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award winner, and that's what started this whole thing back in 2002. You want to share anything about Dan McGowan? You guys got any good stories?
Nothing that we can share on air.
Jeez, guys.
No, he's just, being the baby brother, Danny, just growing up with him. And the one story I can share real quick, I think he was in like 7th grade or whatever, and I'm in college. I come home for like Christmas or whatever, and I come walking in the door, and next thing he meets me at the front door, and now he's in 7th grade. I'm 225 pounds at this time, and he picks me up and puts me in a fireman's carry and just throwing me around like I'm nothing. And I'm like, dude, seriously, what are you doing? I'm happy to see you too, but can you put me down?
Can you put me down, little brother?
Yeah. So, yeah. What
a story.
Yeah, that and the time he broke my nose when I was coaching him in wrestling at North Judson.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he just took 2 plugs and shoved them up my nose and said, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, dude, you just broke my nose. Leave me alone.
Gosh, brothers, that's got to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm an only child, so I wouldn't know. But our next Athlete of the Year in 2003 was a senior from Knox, Corey Mason. Following up that year, 2004 was a senior from Winnemac, Wendy Fritz. Then in 2005, it was a senior from John Glenn, Joe Curtis. Then in 2006, a senior from West Central, Grant Davis. 2007, junior from Oregon Davis, Sarah Conkey. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Sarah Conkey. And then she was a junior at Oregon Davis. And then in 2008, she won it again as a senior at Oregon Davis. So she was back-to-back Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. That's incredible. Then in 2009 was a senior from Winnemac, Erica Redwick. Then in 2010, senior from John Glenn, Andrew Alexander. 2011, senior from Culver, Jeremiah Harvey. 2012, senior from West Central, Marissa Hamilton. 2013, senior from Culver, Matt Herford. 2014, senior from Oregon Davis, Ashley Campbell. 2015, Dalton Button, senior from Winnemac. 2016, Riley Popplewell, senior from South Central. Then in 2000, you guys keep nodding.
Yeah.
Like, yep, that's about seems about right. My memory. I guess it's safe to say everybody's probably doing the same thing right now.
Right.
2017, a senior from Winnemac, Jack DeGroot. 2018, senior from Knox, Cooper Broker.
Broker, yeah.
Then in 2019, senior from North Judson-San Pierre, Lauren Cox. 2020, senior from South Central, Amber Wolf. 2021, Lillian Frazier, senior from North Judson-San Pierre. And last year, for 2022, a senior from South Central, Lauren Bomar. So those are our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Year since our beginning of this 2002. 4 Winnemac athletes, 3 North Judson-San Pierre athletes, 3 Oregon Davis athletes, 3 South Central athletes, 2 Knox, 2 John Glenn, 2 Culver, and 2 West Central. So stick around in the next hour. We will be announcing our 2023 Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. As now we're going to transition and talk track and field at North Judson-San Pierre. What, did you have something to say?
Oh, no. I'm just in here.
You gave me the look.
No, I'm just listening. Just listening.
Well, now we're going to talk track and field with head coach Brett Lambert. Glad you could come in, Coach. I know you had some state qualifiers that we want to talk about today. How did it go?
Well, I'm going to go back just a step, if that's all right. So,
yeah.
Because I know we talked after sectionals. So last week in the regionals of Valparaiso, Kelson Jordan was second in the long jump. He jumped 22 feet and 1 inch, which was a PR. That's a very impressive jump there. And then a kind of a unique thing. So that was his very last jump. He got 22 feet 1 inch, and like from the start of the meet to the end, long jump was going on. It took forever. So it was like a 4-hour event. But he jumped 21 feet 9 inches 3 different times. And they take it to the quarter inch when they measure.
Right.
So he got 21.9 3 times. And the person who was measuring was like, on the third one, was like, are you serious? Like he got that another time. It was just an amazing thing. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
Where somebody could jump the same distance, 3 times there. But anyway, so he, got second in the long jump and advanced the state. And then Eric Materna got third in the 400 and advanced the state as well. And kind of a weird thing of that is they announced them as tying for second, and then later on we look at the results and it says they got third. So I don't know what happened from the time the meet ended till we got home. But anyway, so they both advanced the state, which was yesterday in Bloomington. The state there, it's just awesome. Bloomington has at IU has a very nice track facility. But, it is a 3-hour drive. I mean, it's a long ways to go. And again, if you're in, even more north than us, I mean, that's a heck of a time trying to get there. But anyway, so, we had that yesterday. But I guess the awful thing is that, so as we had practice during the week, Wednesday, Kelson got a couple jumps in. Well, on his second jump, he hurts his back. So he tweaks his back, and we're thinking, you got to be kidding me, because we've been taking it light all week. We're like, hey, let's just get your steps in today, get a couple of jumps in. Then Thursday we'll do next to nothing. Friday you'll jump at state. This is gonna be awesome. So then his last jump ever on our practice facility, he hurts his back. He goes to Bloomington. He tries to test it out, but the pain was too much, so he couldn't even compete. So I feel awful for Kelson because he had such a great year, and he was right there for the school record. He was a couple inches away. His goal was to get it there, so it's just an awful thing for him. So I feel bad for him, but what you can't take away from him is he still advanced to state. And,
right.
So he advanced there. Yes, he didn't get to compete, but he did what barely anybody else from North Judson's ever done. So again, it was a great career, but just it wasn't quite the ending that he wanted there.
I saw a video of his state qualifying jump from the regional, and I wonder how far he actually jumped if he wouldn't have. He did a great job of when he landed, because he knew he was going to fall back, of turning his body and trying to minimize the damage by falling back, because they measure from if you fall back, they're measuring from where you fall back to. So I just wonder how far he actually, if he'd have been able to land clean how far he actually jumped in the regional. That would have been something to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And just, you got to think about this. This guy, if you've seen him play basketball, all the fans out there, I mean, he's 6'6".
Right.
Yeah.
And to have your 6'6" body land in a way, in the sand after jumping 20-something feet. I mean, it's an awkward thing, especially for somebody his height. And
there's a lot of torque on the middle torso.
Absolutely, and I think it finally got him, and at about the worst time that could happen. But again, it was nothing to be ashamed of for him. And then, Eric, he went to state last year. He was the regional champ last year.
Right.
He didn't have as good of a showing as he wanted, but he still had a really good showing last night. There's just so many good guys there. I told you guys off the air before we got on. I mean, the guy who won the 400 last night broke the state record, and the guy who had the state record was on the Olympic 4x4 team. I think still has maybe the world record. I don't quote me on that, but I know he was an Olympic champion. So there was just some great guys there, and you do like just talking about Kelson and the injury. You wouldn't believe being at that meet yesterday, just the people who pull up with hamstring injuries and stuff at the state meet. There's all kinds of just weird, freaky things that happen because when you have guys moving at that rate of speed and jumping that far and exerting themselves to the limit, you're going to have some injuries. And unfortunately, like I said, they got Kelson. But Eric had an awesome career. He's a school record holder in the 400. He's got the conference record in that. He was a regional champ. He did all kinds of awesome things for us. And I'm so proud of him. He's gonna go on to Marion next year and run, and he'll just be a fantastic runner for them.
He's gonna love it there.
Absolutely.
He's gonna love it there,
and they're gonna enjoy having him.
All right.
And I told him after the meet because he was upset. I mean, which sometimes you don't see that in track. You see it in maybe football and basketball where players get upset, coaches get upset. But it was kind of like I just, as he ran that last 400, I just kind of like, oh man, this is gonna be the last time I'm gonna watch Eric. But it was also going through my mind. But man, this guy's gonna do some great things.
He is.
He's gonna have a great life. He's gonna have his college career. I think will be fantastic. So as much as you're sad, as you see all these seniors go, you're happy for what the future is going to bring. And we've had a great senior class this year at North Judson in all sports. So again, I couldn't be more proud of those two guys, but then the whole entire team and really the senior class at North Judson.
One thing that stuck out to me in our interview with Eric and Kelson was just the competitive itch that those guys have. And one thing that stuck out to me, it wasn't in the interview, but before or after the interview, I should have probably asked this on recording to Kelson, but I said, what are you thinking at the end when you've got to jump the best, it's your last one, what are you thinking? And he goes, this is exactly what he said to me. He goes, I was just thinking, I'm not going to let these kids beat me. These kids. That's what he was saying. That's what he said to me. I just didn't want these kids to beat me.
He's talking like he's an old man.
Exactly.
Right.
And I just was like, okay, he sees himself as the man. And I think that's the type of mentality you have to have when you go into these type of meets.
Well, and at that regional, when he had that last jump, I mean, he had I don't know what, an aura about him. There's something about him that we hadn't seen all year. And just some confidence. He was like, just kind of jumping up and down, feeling good. And like I said, that meet, like they started jumping like 5 or something like that. And it was like 9 o'clock because that meet took forever. It was cold at the regionals. But he was just on fire. And we all kind of commented just like, man, that's a different Kelson. And he did. He got that 22-foot jump, in 1 inch. And just, like I said, it's too bad he couldn't had a chance to do better than that at state. But again, nothing to hang his head about. He had a great career in different sports, as did Eric.
Talk about the track team as a whole. I know that it's coming to a close now, and that's the end of the 2023 track and field season at North Judson-San Pierre. If you could wrap it up for us, what would you say?
We had a really good year. This is one of our probably, my 15 years, one of the best guys teams we've had, if not the best. But the future is bright. I mean, our girls and guys middle school track teams both won conference this year, so the well's not dry. We got some guys that'll step up next year, and we'll just try to build on what these guys have done the past couple of years, and just the fact that we've had the last 3 years, we've had Chloe Krause went to state 2 years ago. Eric went to state last year, and then Kelson and Eric both qualified for state this year. So to have 3 years in a row with state qualifiers, that's a huge accomplishment for a small school like ours.
Well, you got to be proud of the program you're building.
We're trying.
It's all Kylene.
That's exactly right.
I was about to say.
It's not me at all. It's all her.
Kylene.
That's right.
She sends you in to do the talking.
That's right. I don't do anything else. She takes care of it. So,
well, and you can make that check out to Chris McGowan.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Can you give us an update on football season? Give us a little preview, or you got to keep that close to the chest for now?
Got a lot to work on. Yeah.
What are you coaching now?
There's always a lot to work on, but we're excited. I mean, it's just. The thing is, it goes from one season to the next. It never ends. I mean, football never ends anyways. But yeah, we've already been on the practice field, and weight room's always going. So we're excited to try to have another really nice fall. But no predictions or guarantees. But we are definitely excited for the group we got coming back.
Well, I was thinking this before the show started. Out of all our coaches, you're the only coach that was on the first show of the year and the last show of the year. So it's been an honor, Coach. We appreciate you coming in and joining us. And I know gas money isn't cheap these days, so I appreciate. I mean, you add up the miles over all the times you've been here; it can add up. So we appreciate you coming over here and talking about North Judson-San Pierre. I know it means a lot to you.
Well, and you're talking about gas and all that. It's worth it. It's all about the kids, and that's what you got to remember. And when I was at Rensselaer, Chris Meeks would always say, the head coach there for the football team, Lambert, it's all about the kids, and he's right. And he'd said that years ago. I was like, was he just being like goofing around? But I think he was being serious, and I feel the same way. You see Eric running last night. You see the football guys have success. You want them to do well. That's why I do it. I'm obviously not trying to get a big contract. I could probably do something else and make a lot more money, but I just enjoy doing what I do, and it's just very fulfilling.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you here in about 10, 12 weeks.
All right. Thank you, guys.
God willing. All right. That's head coach of the track and field team at North Judson-San Pierre High School, Brett Lambert, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to continue talks of North Judson-San Pierre. We're going to talk with head coach of the softball club, Gary Baxter. That's on the other side.
You need cool air.
4th and 15, and my gosh, they're going to go for it. Might as well in this part of the field. Harper, you hear the fans in the background. He takes the snap from shotgun, looking to throw. He does. Up the middle. He's got his man open. Touchdown, Blue Jays, number 5. That's Josiah McDaniel. Huge touchdown for the Blue Jays as they strike again. It's 14-0 here in North Judson. Dump off inside the number 20. Blocked by Quinn Bales. And here comes Quinn across the timeline. Quinn dumps it over. This is Kelson Jordan. He's driving baseline. Cross court. Ty Schumacher 3 on the way. Yes. Splash. Big time 3 for Ty Schumacher. 5-0. The Blue Jays lead early here.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
And we're back here at Rowdebush Field as Coach Mark Hall, head coach of the West Central Trojans, gets a Gatorade bath, and another one's coming, Chris. Look out. Look out, Chris. Another one's coming.
Thanks for the heads up.
I didn't want Boy, he's got the Tomahawk Trophy in hand. It's been the first time since 2012, and we are lucky enough to have head coach of the West Central Trojans down on the field with our sideline reporter, sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
Coach Hall, telling you, been a decade since you've possessed that Tomahawk Trophy? How's it feel?
It's been since 12, and it's been a long time, and it feels great right now. We told the kids all week, it's right there for us to go get. And it's our number one goal we set last October is to get the Tomahawk. I'm so happy for these boys that they get to experience it because it has been a long time.
I had a chance to sit down and talk with head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays softball club, Gary Baxter, this past week. Of course, the softball program was celebrating their 25th season at North Judson-San Pierre. Coach Baxter and his Lady Jays were able to pull off the program's first sectional game win. They won Game 1 of the sectional at Rochester, where we saw them take on the Wabash Apaches. They unfortunately fell to a hot Lewis Cass team the next night in the sectional semifinal round, but a lot of accomplishments were made this year. Here's my sit-down interview with head softball coach of the Lady Jays, Gary Baxter.
All right, Coach, tough end of the season, but you guys played so well, and you have such young talent on this team. I know you had to say goodbye to some seniors, but let's talk about this season as a whole and what you are proud of most.
Well, this year I'm really proud of just how we responded. Last year, the year before this, we had a team that was very, very young and very inexperienced. We had seniors who didn't have a lot of play time in the years before, so they did their best to lead and to really participate and give everything they could to the team. And we were really kind of down that year, but it was a wonderful growing year. And I was really happy with how we responded this year. Going into this year, we knew what we wanted to do. We set expectations, and I think I spoke to you earlier about it. We actually said we had expectations. We wanted to do well in conference. We didn't, but that's okay. We wanted to win sectionals. We didn't, but that's okay. Because we did things this year that we hadn't done in the years past. Our program's been around for 25 years, and we did end up winning a sectional game this year, and it's the first time in 25 years. And it was exciting. It was very exciting, and it's something that we that was a goal of ours, and we hit that, And unfortunately, when we came up against Lewis Cass, I felt like we had the game, and we kind of let it go a little bit, and we lost by 1, and it was tough. But you know what? We went down swinging. We kept fighting the whole game. It went extra innings again, and they went on to win the sectionals, actually. So, it's always tough because we thought maybe we could get into the sectional championship and really compete for it, and we just kind of let it go. But that is something that we needed as a program. We needed to have a game like that. That was literally the most important game we've ever played in our school history. So it was an important game. Even though we lost, we're going to get better from it. We're going to grow from it.
That's one thing that I remember thinking after you had told me that in the pregame. I brought it up with our sports analyst, Paul Dunn, and when I said that it was your first sectional game win in the 25-year history, he couldn't believe it. And when I had talked with Chris, he wasn't sure about that either. I mean, it's just unbelievable what you guys were able to accomplish this year. I mean, really, it is a step forward in the direction I think you want the program to go.
It absolutely is, and we came in this year with expectations, and I think that's what you have to do with a team if you really want to get to where you want to be. And we talked about it every week. Hey, we can compete this year for a sectional championship. I know things aren't going well now. We started the season out a little rough, but we kept trending upward. We would have games where we'd just absolutely get the brakes beat off of us, but then we'd have games where we'd go against a really tough opponent and we'd hold them to very few runs. It's just over the whole season, we struggled with our hitting, but we kept at it. We never stopped. We never got down about it, and we kept improving. It's just next year we have to get even better from there.
What was it like being able to coach your daughter? I know she graduated this year, but talk about that and what that meant to you as a father.
It meant the world to me. Senior night was really tough. I was putting together the slideshow of the seniors that I coached, and I've coached them since they were little girls, and they played along with my daughter as well in the summer leagues around here. Being able to coach my daughter was such a blessing, and to be her high school coach, I never thought that's where I would be, when she was a senior. I did my best to get all my crying out earlier in the week, so when senior night came around, I did really well, but it was still tough. She's been my softball buddy for over 10 years, and, losing her is going to be really, really tough, but she really had such an impact, not only on our program, but her teammates, the coaches, and on me as well. I mean, she's such an excellent player, and she's such a teammate. She played travel all these years, and I never saw her once, make a teammate feel like, hey, I'm better than you. What are you doing? She always lifted everyone up. I mean, coaches too. She was always saying the right things at the right time. So we're going to lose not only her skill, but her leadership. And it's just something that you don't replace. But she's left behind such a legacy with how she treated everyone and how she played. I couldn't ask for a better player and a better daughter, to be honest.
When we talked to you before, it doesn't sound like you're done coaching. It sounds like you want to continue on what you're building here at North Judson-San Pierre. Talk about the future. Talk about the underclassmen and what's it looking like for you guys?
Well, I kind of told Mike Sarkozy, our athletic director, the other day, I said, hey, I'm here as long as you'll let me be here until you get rid of me. So, I love the game of softball, and I love coaching. I love being able to speak with kids and teach them. Just a real quick aside, the other day I was at the ballpark and I was talking to an underclassman, Kenya Cooper, and she had a real tough game, that Lewis Cast game. I think she struck out a couple times. I think she went 0 for 4, and she's been one of our best players all year. And, when we're done with the season, I kind of just try to just talk with them like they're kids, and you don't really talk softball. But she organically brought it up. She goes, I just don't know what happened that game. And I said, you know what? I go, it was pressure. I go, it was all the pressure, and we all struggled. I go, even I felt it, kiddo. There's nothing wrong with that. And I go, but you can't have diamonds without pressure. I go, we're going to get better from this. And, it was such a great conversation to have. We've got a great future. We have a great battery in Molly Matson. She'll be a sophomore now, and her catcher, Sophie Chaffins. And those two had a great year. They came in the freshman year, and they immediately, made the starting lineup. And not only that, they're in the two most important positions, and they were absolutely wonderful for us this year. We couldn't have been any better. We couldn't ask for any better battery between those two. Sophie actually just learned the catcher position this year, and she was great this year. Yeah, she was excellent. We're going to have a senior this year in Reagan Hensley, our first baseman. And 2 years ago, I would have told you, this is a kid that plays basketball, and she comes in and she plays softball. Now I would describe her as a softball player. I'm very proud of her. She's become such like a cornerstone of our team. We have Anna Garbison in the outfield. We're probably going to have to move her around to the center field position. She's going to have to pick up more of a role there. And we got Kenya Cooper, obviously. She played third this year. She was excellent for us, but we might have to move her over to shortstop. So we got kids that are going to be moving all over. And we have my other daughter, Emma Baxter, who she played right field. She literally just learned the outfield this year, and she was wonderful for us this year. She caught some excellent balls out there. She made some great plays that, sometimes that doesn't happen in right field. But when you got a quick pitcher like Molly, balls get hit to right field, and she was very sure-handed for us this year. We have a great group of freshmen coming in. We have Kayla Chambers, who's Coach Chambers' daughter. Olivia Tim, she's a great athlete. She plays basketball and volleyball. We have another one. We have Macy Morrow coming in, and Alyssa Lambert, who's a really good athlete. I'm excited to start coaching her this year. So the future's looking really, really bright for NJSP.
Last question before we close this off, Coach. What's your message to Blue Jay Nation as we head into summer?
Well, the message I've kind of had all year is that we just want to make everybody proud. And, we did some things this year, and I think we accomplished that. That was noticed throughout the school this year. Teachers would come up to us and congratulate us. And even so, a lot of the students would come up and say, hey, nice job. That was a great game. I had a young lady come up. She used to play softball, and she said, I can't believe we finally won a sectional game. I almost cried. I can't believe that, So we just want to continue to make the community proud by playing hard and doing it the right way.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Man, that was a great interview. I appreciate Coach Baxter's time. As we are going to take a break, we are going to talk about a charity basketball game going on this coming week. We're going to have a special guest in the house. You know who he is. Stay tuned. That's on the other side.
As here's Cheyenne Allen handing it off to Eric Materna. Back to Quinn Bales. Pops a three deep. Yes. Quinn Bales! Yeah, baby. 21-12. The Blue Jays lead. Wow. The Kings weren't ready for that one.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking. In 4-hour dinners with friends. In that first bite of something new. And in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we've been serving family farms for over 130 years. We've seen our customers succeed in good times, pull through in tough times, and we've learned some lessons along the way. So we appreciate the customers we have today by finding the solutions they'll be looking for tomorrow. Are you ready to talk about your farm operation? Stop by a branch or visit us online at ffbt.com. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
The Saturday Sports Line continues with Kankakee Valley area coaches and special guests. Here's Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
Ball on the 42-yard line in satellite territory. Cadle takes the snap. It's Shane Schumann up the gut. He's going to get the first down and more. He gets it to the 20, now to the 15, 10, 5. He's gone. It's a Culver Cavalier touchdown. Shane Schumann, another one to add to the resume. 6-0 here in Culver.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line. So glad you could join us here from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. Mitch Columbi here with, well, you know who he is, Harold Welter. We couldn't have our final show without having you on, Harold, could we?
Well, I appreciate the invitation because this is going to give me an opportunity to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that, of course, is the Cheryl and Welter Charitable Foundation. And we've got the second annual Cheryl and Welter Charitable Foundation Senior Showcase. And this is where graduated seniors from area high schools take to the hardwood for a basketball tournament one more time.
Man, when I heard that this was happening, what was this, maybe 6-7 months ago, I thought, how did you get this started? And you got to tell me, how did this come to be?
Mark Ridley is the one who started this and really basically runs it. And Mark, of course, his dad, Bill Ridley, who was a longtime friend of ours here at WKVI, spent a lot of years at North Judson-San Pierre and ended up being an administrator over at the Kankakee Valley School Corporation. And when he passed away, they named the football field at the middle school over there in Mark's dad's name.
Wow.
So Mark Ridley has a lot of connections here through his dad, and he just wanted to do something to help the Cheryl and Welter Charitable Foundation, and he came up with this idea of a senior showcase and getting some of these great basketball players who have now graduated and give them one more opportunity on the hardwood.
I can't believe it. You know, I just, when I think of that when I was in high school, man, that would have been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And the way, you got to tell us how this works, quarter by quarter. I mean, you got to tell me how it's put together. I mean,
well, first of all, there's girls and boys both involved, and I think there's 12 or 13 high schools from around the area that are going to be represented, and it's broken up very interesting. The first quarter is going to be 5-on-5 with the girls playing against each other, and the second quarter is going to be the boys 5-on-5.
And these teams are chosen from a draft?
Yes, they'll be drafted by the I don't know what our titles are, but Justin, Perry, and I are going to be, I guess, team captains, and so we're going to select the players for each of our teams, and that'll play against each other. And then, interestingly, in the second half, in the third quarter, 3 girls against 2 boys on each team.
Wow!
And then in the fourth quarter, 2 girls and 3 boys on each team.
So you're going to have to do some studying here.
Yes. Getting ready for the draft. And I'll tell you, when you look at some of the players who are going to be here on the girls' side, Lillian Tolman and Olivia Marks from South Central, and Avery Hendrickson and Hattie Gorski from La Crosse. And then you look at players from Couts, from Riley Messer from Knox. You've got kids from, kind of all over on the boys' side. Get this. Eric Materna, Cheyenne Allen, and Kelson Jordan from North Judson.
Whoa, my gosh. How did they get them?
I'll tell you what. Well, they were chosen. And so I think it's going to be really interesting. Aiden White from West Central is going to be playing. Wow. And a bunch of others. I don't have time to go through all of the names, but a lot of area players. And, of course, all of the proceeds from the Harold Welter Senior Showcase will go to the foundation. So
how does that? What does that do for the Harold Welter Foundation?
Well, of course, we rely on donations to do what we do, and what the foundation does is we work with teachers in rural schools who work with underprivileged kids, and we issue small grants for teachers to take care of those small things that so often teachers are digging into their own pockets for. And going back over the last 5 years, we've given out 219 grants totaling over $90,000. And all of this comes from donations. And so this is a fundraiser for that foundation, and that's how we get supported. And there's no admission charge, so to speak, for the showcase next Thursday. It's a free will offering.
Wow.
But Mark Ridley has come up with some auction items, too. There's going to be a silent auction. When I say auction items, things like tickets to Valparaiso University men's and women's basketball game, laser print autograph by the Chicago Bears.
Whoa!
And the latest thing he came up with was an autographed hat from James Johnson of the Indiana Pacers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some sports-related items up for auction.
Right, and some non-sports-related items. He's come up with things from all over.
So you could say this is just a full-on event, not just a basketball game. This is a full-on event going on.
It really is an event to help raise funds for the Harold Welter Charitable Foundation, and I can't thank Mark Ridley enough. First of all, as I said, he came up with the idea last year and had a nice turnout at South Central, and this year it's at the Tiger Den in La Crosse.
Oh my dude, this is hey, that's one of my favorite gyms. There's something about that gym.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be a real Hoosiers feel.
It really is, and we hope a lot of folks are going to turn out and support this effort. It's going to be just a lot of fun.
Well, let me tell you this. I look at the list of names, and just from the people I know, we've got some competitors on this list.
Oh, yeah.
It could get interesting. It could get very interesting watching some of these players.
Yeah. You got kids from, like I said, La Crosse and South Central, from North Judson, from West Central, from Westville, from Knox, from just all over. Kankakee Valley counts some of those kids out of the PCC. Hebron is represented. So we've got a lot of outstanding players. It's going to be interesting to see how they compete with one another.
Well, and then I see here it looks like in quarter 3. I think we talked about quarter 1 and quarter 2. Did we talk about quarter 3?
Well, quarter 3 is the mix with boys and girls both participating. Now, in fairness, the guys will guard the guys, and the girls will guard the girls.
That makes sense.
No switching, supposedly.
Sure.
But last year we saw some interesting developments when a couple of the young ladies, for lack of a better term, embarrassed one or two of the guys, so it gets very competitive. So we hope a lot of folks are going to turn out. This is going to be on this coming Thursday, June 8th at 6 o'clock. The draft is going to be at 5, and then the tip-off is at 6 o'clock. So
and you're
come on
a coach.
over.
You're a coach.
Well, I don't think I'm referred to as a coach. Justin and I are team captains, so we're going to choose.
Well, it does say quarter 5. It does say a quarter 5 here. Coaches
is the coaches. I don't know who that is, but
so you're
ain't going to be me.
You're not going to play to 22.
I did get in the game.
That'd bring a lot of people.
I did get in the game last year at the tail end.
Did you?
Yeah. I threw the ball away.
Well,
That's
learned.
why
you learned.
I never made it at the high school level. I threw the ball away a lot.
But you learned your lesson.
Yes.
So now you'll be better.
Well, hopefully. I'm really excited about the field announcer because he's the guy from WKVI that gets so excited sometimes he can't describe games quite properly. So,
that'll be a lot of fun.
This will be Thursday, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I appreciate you taking time in the program here for us to tell our story because it is, we have big plans for expanding what we're able to do to help teachers who work with underprivileged kids in rural Indiana schools. And the word is spreading, and the demand is great. And so we've got a big year ahead of us, and this is one of those fundraisers that people can have a lot of fun with, and hopefully we'll have a good turnout on Thursday.
Well, and then I also wanted to take time to, we have talked before, your foundation is a lot different from other foundations, and there's a lot of great foundations that people can, donate their money to, but there is a little difference when it comes to yours.
We are the only organization in the entire state of Indiana who works with teachers for those little things. Our maximum grant is $550, which doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, in a classroom, what teachers can do with a few $100 is just absolutely amazing. And we've given out 219 grants now over the last 5 years. And I told someone not long ago, I said, I'll bet of those 219 grants, they're being used in 150 different ways. There's some repetition, but we've had things like providing funds to train comfort dogs.
Wow.
And of course, comfort closets for kids have been funded. And we just have had a lot of different things that teachers get very creative. They say, man, if I had a few $100, I could do this.
And then that's what you're able to provide.
Exactly. And we've done this in 33 different schools. We've put grants in 16 different school corporations. All over Northwest Indiana. And the only rule we have is it goes to rural schools. Not that there isn't a need in the metropolitan areas, but by and large, they have access to resources that folks out here in Knox or Winnemac or La Crosse don't have.
Yeah.
So that's why we've established that. And nowhere else in the state of Indiana can people find these kind of grants.
Well, and then this event, it's special.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think it ties in well with what you did for all those years. and it just makes a lot of sense. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. I was a public address announcer in high school my senior year, so I'm going to have to dust off the old vocal cords and see if I can do it here.
Okay, again, that's on Thursday. We appreciate folks if you can come out to the Tiger Den in La Crosse.
Thursday at 6 Central. We are looking forward to that. Harold, always appreciate you coming on here and talking with us. It means a lot. Hey, we got a big announcement in the second hour. We're going to be announcing our Athlete of the Year, so hope you're listening.
It's always one of the highlights of every year, and you can bet that I'll be listening.
All right, that's Harold Welter here on the Saturday Sports Line. We are going to take a break. Come back. Don't go anywhere. More sports talk coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. As Cohen Watson from shotgun takes the snap and hands off, that's Miles McLaughlin up the middle, and he breaks away again. He crosses the 50-yard line to the 40 to the 35, 30, and he's tackled. Wow, big-time play by the freshman Miles McLaughlin as it took 2 Lakers to bring him down. Ball spotted on the Lakers' 30-yard line. This Knox Redskin offense just doesn't have any quit in them.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of WKVI radio covering local high school sports. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now?
Well, as we look back on more than 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, our guest is Bill Barnett, a former coach of the Knox Redskins, going back to the first year that we were broadcasting here on WKVI, and we call this segment, Where Are They Now? So, Bill, where are you now, and what are you doing?
Well, I currently live in St. Pete Beach, Florida. I'm retired, but in retirement, I can't stay idle, so I've got a part-time job with the Tampa Bay Rays, a baseball team. I'm in my 10th season with them. I wish I could say I was playing, but we know that's not too many 70-some-year-olds in the major leagues. But I got a job with them 10 years ago in their fan experience and fan host department, and so I work for the Rays in the summertime and really enjoy it. And then I do some other things for a little extra income. So I'm not idle, and I also I live where I can look out at the Gulf of Mexico. So life's been pretty good to me.
Going back when you were at Knox for 4 years, you coached baseball, you were assistant coach in basketball on some very good, successful teams. In all of those games that you coached at Knox, which one do you remember the most here all these years later?
Well, I can give you three quick memories. One was my very first year. We went over to North Judson, and my memory of that night was going into the North Judson gym, and before the doors, when the doors opened, within 10 minutes, the whole little North Judson gym was full. But both Knox teams that night, our JVs and varsity, won on the last second shots. So that was really a memorable evening. And then Pat Blinky hitting the sectional winner his sophomore year, again against North Judson. That was a memorable evening. And then one of our laughable, memorable evenings, I knew you would ask me about it, but I'll tell you, was when we beat Northwood High School in a JV game with the somersault play.
Absolutely. And I think Bridegroom hit the shot, right?
Walt Bridegroom hit the shot, and I remember, I think it was Dave King told me later, when there was a timeout with maybe 2 seconds on the clock, and we had the ball underneath our basket, and the varsity was looking through the doors at the end of the gym wanting to come on the floor, and when they saw how we lined up, Dave King turned around. He goes, "They're going to do it." And he gave the somersault signal to Kristen, and Kristen just put his head down and shook his head. He couldn't believe it. Neither could the other team and coach either.
the somersault play was everybody except the shooter just did a somersault on the floor.
Well, they lined up across the foul line, and of course the ball was under the basket. And when the inbounder slapped the ball, all four players went down like they were going to turn a somersault. And then Walt, the shooter, he went down and then immediately popped up and went behind the other three. And of course, it was the defense was totally distracted. And it's like one of the players told me later that the guy guarding him stepped back and he screamed at him, "What are you doing?" And then he looked up right when the ball was coming through the net because Walt didn't let us down.
Well, you spent 4 years coaching baseball and basketball at Knox, and then you went on and coached some more high school basketball down south. But you ended up in the collegiate coaching ranks at the University of Evansville. Tell me about that.
Well, actually, before Evansville, I was at a small junior college in Colorado called Otero Junior College. And I coached men's basketball, women's basketball, and fall and spring baseball there. So I had a pretty full plate. And I had some great women's teams there. My men were competitive, but we were very much underfunded. It was a new program at a school that only 3 years earlier had restarted their athletic program. And they really went into the athletics to build up their student population, not so much they didn't really care whether we won or lost. Of course, as coaches and as athletes, we wanted to win. But I did have some great women's teams there, and that led to me at the end of my third year moving on to the University of Evansville, where I coached the women there for 9 years.
And you had some success there, but one of the things I want you to tell the listeners about, and that is you coached against Bud Childers from North Judson, who was the women's coach at Louisville, right?
Yeah, Bud was at Louisville, and then before that at Murray State. And we had a little bit of a rivalry there dating back to the Knox-Judson years, but Bud and I became really good friends. And as a matter of fact, he actually asked me when he left Murray to go to Louisville, he asked me if I wanted the job at Murray State. And I gave it some thought, but I told him I thought it would be just best if I stayed at Evansville. I always had a great sense of loyalty to the kids that I recruited to Evansville, and I didn't want to leave. And that was probably one of the toughest things in leaving Knox is you get attached to the kids you coach and the students, which were just great kids. Knox kids were great kids, and that's the thing that makes it a little difficult sometimes when a coach changes jobs. But I did want to say that I still have contact with a great number of kids that I coached at Knox, former students and former athletes, and it's just wonderful that I have some of them become lifelong friends.
You know, and that's one of the great things about social media is a lot of those old friendships have been able to be rekindled through social media.
Yes, and in some cases I found them, and in other cases they found me. And just recently reconnected with Walt Bridegroom that hit that shot we were talking about on that trick play. But it's just really great to reconnect through the social media. And on some of my visits back to Indiana, I'm going to have some face-to-face time with some of those great they're younger, but they're not as young as they were. Like you and I were laughing about getting older. They're not so young anymore either, because I was awfully young when I was at Knox, and so as I've gotten older, certainly a lot of my players have too.
Our guest is Bill Barnett, a former coach at Knox High School from back in the early days of broadcasting here on WKVI. And we'll continue our Where Are They Now segment after we pause for this word from Osborne's Mini Mart.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs for $1.29. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Our guest here on our Where Are They Now segment is Bill Barnett, a former coach of at Knox High School back in our first year of broadcasting back in 1969 and 70. I guess we were all a little younger back then, Bill. But I know you played a lot of high school ball from Flat Rock, Indiana, and you coached a lot of high school ball and obviously at the collegiate level later on. But let me ask you this. What did you gain when you played ball, and what do all those kids you coached, what did they gain from playing in high school sports that has helped later in life?
Well, that's a multi-faceted answer to your question. I can't just name one area, but I have been contacted over the years by former players, former athletes that were in different sports for me, and they've really expressed their thanks and gratitude for whatever they learned playing sports, whether it was discipline, the fact they had to be dedicated to be successful, or sometimes it was just expressing gratitude for the role I played in their life. But athletes, from their participation in sports, like I say, there's so many different things they gain and learn, and they can apply those things they learn, whether it's self-discipline, dedication, work ethic. They apply those things later in life to whatever their role is in life, and then they find that they become extremely successful, and they go back to their younger years and they attribute it to their coaches and their participation in athletics.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, probably one story that I could relate, and I'll try to be brief with it, was I got a message from a young man several years ago that lives in Texas, and he didn't play basketball for me, but I did coach cross country at Edinburgh High School after I'd left Knox, and this boy's name was Robert. I'll even give you his name was Robert Koppel, and Robert was he was our best runner in cross country, but he wasn't a strong finisher, and so I was always on his tail to push himself harder, and I wasn't very nice about it sometimes, and I constantly rode him. Even though he was our best runner, I never felt like he achieved his potential. But later in life, he dropped out of college, and he decided he would join the Marine Corps, and he told me, he said, the only thing that got him through Marine Corps boot camp was he thought, if I could take this off Coach Barnett, I can sure take it from these sergeants. And he made it through Marine boot camp, and in the Marine Corps, he received computer training in the early days of computers. Now owns his own computer company and has become very wealthy in Texas. So hats off to Robert Koppel, but he attributed it to how hard I pushed him in cross country.
And that's the reason people like you get into teaching and coaching in the first place.
Well, it makes us feel really great when we see our athletes become successful. And there have been very, very few that have gone down the wrong side in life. But usually, if that's what happened, it's because of their home life and more attributed to society more so than anything that had to do with athletics or coaching.
Finally, as a former coach and former athlete yourself and coaching at obviously the highest level, for those young people out there who aspire to have athletic and personal success, what is the advice that you would give those young people in today's world, Bill?
My advice would be simple. Be dedicated to what you're tackling as far as a goal, and never give up. Just never, ever give up.
Bill, we want to thank you for taking time and visiting with us and reminiscing with us about some of the great days of high school sports back up here in northern Indiana, and a guy who's still tied to sports, but at the major league level now. We want to congratulate you on the great career in sports that you had, and again, thank you for joining us and for the influence you had on so many young people up here in Stark County.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Harold.
There's Bill Barnett, a former coach of the Knox Redskins, going back to our first year of broadcasting here on WKVI. Join us again next week on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Ward back over to Haschel. Thought about a three into the corner to Jay Huerta for three. On the way! And Jay, you better believe it. Jay Huerta with a big-time three in the corner, and that ties the ball game up at 41 all.
Wow. I tell you what, I told you he wasn't a freshman. He is now a sophomore. The kid, I mean, we've seen 2 games. I've seen 2 games of him. This kid can shoot the ball. He can do a little bit of everything. And, you know, we definitely got to ask Coach Spear what he said at halftime, because whatever it was, he might want to bottle it.
It is time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winnemac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every year to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winnemac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year is Olivia Marks, senior from South Central High School. Olivia had an amazing career at South Central. She was a 4-year starter for the girls basketball team, a 2-year starter for the softball program. She was a 4-time All-PC selection for girls basketball, 3-time sectional champ, 1-time regional champ in girls basketball, a 3-time sectional champ, 2-time regional champ, and state runner-up in softball. She was the single-season batting average leader in South Central history. She also is the South Central leader in games started and played in basketball. She amassed 1,209 career points, 5th all-time in girls basketball at South Central, 725 career rebounds, that's 4th in the history at South Central, 165 career steals, that's 9th in South Central history, and 85 career blocks, that's 4th in South Central history. She lettered all 4 years in basketball and received 2 letters in softball for a total of 6 letters. Olivia is the daughter of Scotty and Bridget Marks. As we congratulate Olivia, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. She has been presented with a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac. Here is our sit-down interview with our 2022-2023 Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, Olivia Marks. Olivia, congratulations. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, we're glad to have you here. What does this award mean to you?
This award is really a great honor. I mean, just like sitting here looking at the plaque up on the wall, seeing that one of my best friends in high school, Lauren Bomar, was awarded with this. Amber Wolf, one of my biggest idols, watching her since I was young, always wanting to not necessarily be just like her, but achieve the goals that she had set for herself, which she achieved the 1,000 points. So it is just really a great honor.
I know you said before we started this, Chris, you saw a lot of Olivia's accolades in first person, right. Unfortunately on the other side of things, but maybe for a second you can put that aside.
Yeah, I'll put that aside. Knowing how competitive the Marks family is at South Central, here's my question to you. So, how much trash talking are you going to do to your 2 younger sisters?
A lot. I mean, even this year, like all playing together, there was like every now and then there was a little like, Sadie, why didn't you catch the ball? That was a perfect pass. Even if it was a bad pass, it was always me yelling at them or them yelling at me. So,
but I tell you what, that's got to be. It had to be kind of cool to be able to play this last year with both sisters and all three of you being on the floor at the same time. I could only imagine what that would be like. But as well as you guys know each other, you could definitely see the chemistry on the floor was definitely there. But I tell you what, career-wise here, you go through some of these stats, just absolutely unbelievable. 1,209 career points, 725 career rebounds, just phenomenal effort there. But again, congratulations. And yeah, I'll take off my Tiger hat, put on my WKVI KVB hat for a while and say, hey, congratulations, and it's rightly deserved.
Thank you so much.
Well, I got to ask you some other questions, too. I mean, there's just a lot going on this whole year. When we look back, and of course, our Athlete of the Week interview with you was just very, very sharp. And right from the get-go, I thought, man, this is an athlete we're going to keep our eye on. And it came to be true in the long run, and we appreciate you accepting this award. But tell us some of your favorite memories at South Central. What has stand out over the last 4 years?
My number one memory would have to be winning PCC 3 years in a row. I mean, my freshman year, we kind of came out soft in the game. So, I mean, obviously we didn't win, but my sophomore, junior, and senior year, just getting to experience it with my best friends on and off the court, it was just truly amazing. And then also the number one thing that comes to mind when I think about my greatest memory was me being a manager when I was in 8th grade, and it was South Central was in the PCC championship against Hebron, and I'm pretty sure it went into overtime, and Delaney Gale was to make 2 free throws and we would win the game. And I just remember wanting to be able to be as good as her and be able to step up in that type of game that she did. Yeah. So that was just always the number one thing for me that I always wanted to do. So
and that's something you were able to accomplish. And just going through it, like Chris said, you were a 4-year starter for the basketball team. You were a 2-year starter for softball. I mean, just between the two sports there that you were juggling, you did very well in softball. In basketball, you're a 3-time sectional champ, a 1-time regional champ in girls basketball. And then in softball, 3-time sectional champ, 2-time regional champ, and a state runner-up. I mean, you saw some big games late in the season, not just in basketball, but in softball. Do you think that highly competitive atmosphere maybe helped you as you went on in high school?
It definitely did. I mean, just getting to experience the semi-state as a freshman, I think that really shaped me into the player that I am, because I was able to not only take it all in, but I was able to experience it, and obviously it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And then going to state last year, I mean, that was just something that I will always remember, and we didn't come out the way we wanted to, obviously, but it's just all really memorable. So,
well, I don't think your dad would have had it any other way other than being competitive.
Oh yeah, definitely. Since day one, it's been we're here to win.
That's right. Yep. Whatever it takes.
Yes. Yep.
You showed up today to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, the stats that Chris read, he said 1,209 career points. That's 5th all time in girls basketball at South Central, and then the career rebounds, you're 4th. Career steals, you're 9th, and career blocks, you're 4th. So for the majority of your records, you're top 5 in South Central girls basketball history, top 10 in career steals. When you hear that and you look back at all the players you said you looked up to when you were little, I mean, what's that make you feel like?
It really makes me feel amazing, because since I was little, I remember going to games with my parents, my sisters. They would take us to go watch as far back as Riley Popwell and all of them playing, and I always just remember always wanting to be able to be as good as them. And I definitely couldn't have done it without any of my coaches, even way back when to 5th grade, when I played for 5th and 6th grade at South Central, and then I also played travel basketball. So just all of those coaches have really shaped me into the basketball player that I am today.
Safe to say basketball is your favorite sport?
Oh, most definitely.
So you talk about your coaches. What memories do you have of all your coaches that have coached you throughout the years?
My dad was my 5th grade coach, I believe, and obviously that was my first year of basketball, so I was like, not gonna lie, I was pretty bad. but I mean, he definitely pushed me to be the best I could be.
Sure.
And I believe we made it to the PCC championship and we lost to Couts, of course, the biggest rival.
Right.
And obviously that hurt because that was our first loss. But I remember just like getting to experience my first year with my dad and some of my best friends on the team. And then my 6th grade year, I think it was my dad again. And then my 7th and 8th grade year, it was Jeff Kurth. He coached last year also, but he was one of the best coaches too. I mean, he always pushed everyone to be the best they could be. And I remember when I was in 7th grade and I got pulled up to 8th grade to play with all of the older girls, I was like so excited and I was really intimidated, obviously, but it was just really an honor to play with all of the older girls. So,
man, well, I got to ask, talk about your decision in choosing Trine to take the next step in your basketball career. What was it about Trine University that said, yeah, that's where I'm going?
I mean, they were one of the first schools to get in contact with me, and the coach, the assistant coach, his name is Rob Hoffman. He was just like always interested since day one. He was always texting me, trying to invite me to camps, like always watching my stats, texting me, wishing me good luck on my games. And there was just not really any other coach who was as interested as they were in me. And then my first visit, I just like automatically fell in love with the campus. I mean, it was my first school visiting, obviously, but I just knew it was it. And the girls on the basketball team are just amazing. I mean, they're so welcoming, and I'm just really excited.
Well, you're pretty well knowledgeable in girls basketball in the area. Talk about Trine basketball. What do you know about Trine, Chris?
You're going to put me on the spot here. Honestly, I really don't know much about Trine. I was just going to tell her, hey, if you get an opportunity when you're up there, visit Pokagon State Park in the wintertime.
I have heard about that.
And the sledding.
And do the bobsled.
Yes.
Yeah.
They told us about that as
I've
an
done that,
activity
and I hit 36
definitely.
miles an hour going down that thing. But hey,
jeez.
Don't you got to walk back up, though, right?
Yeah, you got to carry it back up. But hey, that's all right.
Well, that's
worth
something to look forward to.
But as far as Trine basketball, I really don't know much about Trine basketball. I know when I was in college and we played baseball, it was they were the ones that put us out of the NAIA tournament.
So they were good.
So, yeah.
Well, that's exciting. What are you most excited for this fall when you go to Trine?
My roommate is going to be Allie Capuch from Couts,
wow.
and she has definitely became one of my best friends, and I'm super excited to experience my first freshman season with her and all of the other girls on the team. I'm super excited to get to know. So well,
and it'll be a different atmosphere.
Oh, definitely.
You won't be coming home to your parents. You'll be most likely, I'm guessing, in a dorm.
Yes, definitely.
So talk about new relationships. You're going to meet new friends and people, I'm sure, that'll be in your life. Talk about how you're going to handle that, moving out of the small town feel into a big university.
I'm super excited. I mean, all the people that I meet over the next 4 years are really going to shape me into the person that I'm going to be 10 years down the road. I mean, I hope to make my best friends, and the coaches I think they're very well, they're super good coaches, and I'm just really excited to see what they have to bring to the table.
So have we decided what we're pursuing? What career?
Marketing. Sales.
Nice.
I want to be a sales representative. So
very good for you. Well, I gotta ask, when you go to Trine this fall, what is the first thing when you get on the court with these girls? What's in your mind? I mean, you're going to be going up against probably some girls that have been in college 2 and 3 years. What's your mindset like as a freshman going in?
My mindset's definitely going to be to give my 110%. My dad has always told me since I've stepped on the basketball court, on the softball field, no matter anything, you always give your 110%, and that's all anyone can ask for. I mean, as long as I give all my effort, I mean, whatever happens, happens. So
future-wise, outside of college, I mean, you never know. Things could go well in basketball. We see Riley Popplewell. She's doing quite well. Harold got a chance to talk to her a couple of weeks ago on the Saturday Sports Line. Caught up with her. She's playing professionally. Is that something that you would even entertain if the door were to open that way?
I mean, if the door were to open, it'd definitely be something that I would really think about. I mean, I haven't really thought that far obviously yet,
Sure.
but if there was an opportunity, I mean, I definitely consider it. So,
Well, what would be your exiting message to Satellite Nation?
thank you so much to all the coaches and all the players and the administration who has shaped me into the basketball player and student I am today.
Well, Olivia, congratulations on being named our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. We appreciate you coming in and talking with us, and good luck in the future. We'll keep our eye on you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back. We'll talk with Tim Roth. He's on the other side to talk about this award and what it means to him and the Roth family. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
As this is Olivia Marks, she is inching closer to those 11 points, Nathan.
And that was it.
That was it. So Olivia Marks has achieved 1,000 points in her career here at South Central. We congratulate her, as it looks like Athletic Director John Haggard has a special ball that says 1,000 career points, and they are taking a timeout for this opportunity right now, as this is a big-time moment, Nate.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. It's time for more Kankakee Valley area sports talk worldwide on K99.3 FM and WKVI.com.
Here comes Vice driving inside, stolen, picked up by Samantha Marks.
Nice
and
double
Lillian
team.
Tolman has it back to Kate Welsh across the timeline. Kate with the ball into the corner. Olivia Marks fakes the three, driving inside, back out to Kate. Here's the three in the corner on the way! Yes! Yes! Big time three at a big time moment. That stops the clock at 2 minutes, 29-37. Kate Welsh was due for that one, Coach.
And we are back here from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. We just talked with our Athlete of the Year, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, Olivia Marks. Chris, great interview.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Such a fine young lady, and I tell you what, nothing but success in her future, that's for sure.
Well, and we have with us Mr. Roth himself, Tim Roth. Good morning, sir. We appreciate you being here and providing her with the award, of course, this morning. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor. We look forward to this day every year. It's emotional, obviously, but we get through May 31st and June 1st every year, and this year was kind of tough. For some reason, it hit me kind of hard. It's been 22 years since we've lost Tyler, but we've had a lot of recognition for him, and this is just one of them, and we are simply honored that WKVI thinks enough of him to have this award and to allow us to be a part of it and present it each year.
Well, I got to ask, what does this award mean to the Roth family?
It's hard to put into words. Tyler was more than an athlete. He was we always called him our All-American boy. He's a good kid. He was an honor roll student. He was student body president his senior year. He was involved in all kinds of activities in school and church and 4-H and you name it, he would try and do it. And we just hope and pray that people understand that this award goes to kids that not, I guess emulate might be a good word, some of the things or all the things that he's done. So we are very humbled that WKVI has chosen to do this and has done it for this long and hopefully will continue to. So it's a great honor, I think, individually for each person that's won it, going all the way back to Chris's brother Danny, the first one to receive it. We've had winners in all 22 of them, and it's just we consider it, like I said, a great honor to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that list of the athletes that are on it, and we don't have the list right here in front of us, but we have the plaque that's hanging out in the waiting area. Just every time I walk into the control room here to do interviews, it's absolutely amazing. You stop and you look at just the names on that list, just kids that have been highly successful, that have graduated, have moved on, got through college education. And I think you said it perfect, that would emulate what Tyler would have become. Having, I never knew Tyler personally, but I knew him vicariously through my brother because they played together.
Yes.
Played against each other for 4 years.
Right.
So I always knew about Tyler just because of my brother being at North Judson.
Right. And it's one of those situations where even if you didn't know Tyler, you knew about Tyler because unfortunately, he was the coach's kid, and everybody knows the coach's kid.
But he was also a pretty darn good athlete.
And he was a 3-sport athlete. And really, football obviously was his best sport, and he was going on to Earlham College to play. But he was a pretty good baseball player and played basketball, so he could be around his buddies and stay active. But, the thing with Tyler, it was athletics wasn't his whole life.
Right.
He was, the people, even 22 years later, we get comments from people, kids that he grew up with or mentors that he had that would, always tell us that he was very in touch with his faith, which, being his dad, I knew he was religious, and we encouraged that. But to hear someone else say that, he was a complete person or a whole person like that, just it gives me chills thinking about it. And to react to your comment on what Tyler could be, Tyler had his whole life planned out. He was going to go on, play sports in college. Football obviously was his choice. He was going into education. He thought he would be in the classroom for maybe 5 years or whatever. Might try his hand at coaching, but Tyler wanted to be an elementary principal because he loved little kids. He was a student teacher in the elementary, and that was just his niche. Little kids adored him, and really he adored them, playing with them, teaching them how to throw football or, going out to recess, whatever it was. And I wish he would have gotten that opportunity, but God's plan's not our plan, so we have to live our lives accordingly and move forward.
One thing that I've wanted to ask you since I originally worked here in 2014, and then now I've come back for my first year doing the sports department. How did this get started? How if you don't mind sharing, how did this all get started?
Well, it goes back to tragedy. Harold lost his daughter Cheryl in the fall, previously before Tyler, and I don't know. We just kind of bonded that fall. I hadn't experienced our loss yet, but knowing Harold and, you've heard Harold say before, Tim Roth and I spent more time together in the fall on Saturday mornings than we did with our wives.
Well, yeah, he was the first interview for almost 30 years?
36 years.
36 years.
Wow.
He was the first interview every Saturday morning.
So, he and Ted Hayes came to the house, and I had no idea. He asked to sit down with Melinda and I, and I had no idea what they wanted. And they said, we would like to come up with an Athlete of the Year for WKVI, and we would like to use Tyler's name if you would allow that. And I'm telling you, it just is like sticking a spear in our hearts. And we didn't have to think long about it. It was, hey, any way we can remember Tyler and get his name out there, we're going to do it. And fortunately, this has all come about over these 22 years, and we wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, I will say from where I'm from in Central Indiana, the local radio stations didn't have an Athlete of the Week, not an Athlete of the Year. So when I moved up here to take this job, it really stuck out to me that this is something special in this area. I saw a comment in one of the social media posts. This was back in October, November. I forget what athlete it was we had announced, but in the comment section, it was somebody that wasn't even from the area that just wanted to reshare the post because they said that they thought that this award was just something about it was really cool. And I think that it is something rare. What you and Harold had started and what we're continuing to do, it's very rare, I think. Very
rare, but very real.
Yes.
Right. I think, I'm a kid at heart. I tune on WKVI every Saturday morning for 2 hours. I'm glued to it. But I think kids are kids, and they like hearing their names. And when a kid gets selected for this weekly award, I think that puts a little fire in their belly or spark in their heart or whatever, and they look forward to that. I think the vast majority of them are very honored by it. And I know Tyler's looking down from heaven and probably smiling at. I mean, I don't think you've ever picked a bad Athlete of the Week.
Right.
Some I've questioned, until I hear a stat, and then I know why that kid got that. And some people, they pick more girls than they do boys, or they pick more boys than they do girls. No, it's just who's hot that week and who's not. And I think it's a great honor. I think the schools love it. I think the kids love it. And the parents love it. So,
well, it's been an honor for you to be here as well, for us to have you and your wife here today. But you had a chance to talk with Olivia a little bit, just from, I know it was the first time you'd met her, but just from the few moments that you spoke with her, talk about what you picked up.
Oh, great young girl. She's very pretty, acted very intelligent, very well-spoken, very humble.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like.
That stuck out to me.
Tyler got all these accolades when he was an athlete in high school, and this is Dad bragging, but I don't think you could find a more humble person than what Ty was, because, he led his baseball team in home runs his senior year. Nobody ever knew that.
Nobody knew it.
Because Tyler never told him.
Wow.
Back in football, with the success we had there, in the interviews each week after ball games, the first thing out of Tyler's mouth was that the five guys up front made it easy for me. He never took, the honor himself. He passed it out. And, that's what I look for in our weekly winners and in this young lady. And to me, she seemed extremely humble. She didn't want to talk about herself. In fact, she started talking puppies with my wife, and to get the subject off of her. But she looks like a young lady that's got things together and is going to go far in life and be a success.
Well, and I think I told you on the phone the other day, her original interview, for her Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week interview, I just remember leaving that interview thinking, man, I really didn't get much out of her, because she kept saying, if it wasn't for this person or if it wasn't for that person on the team.
Her teammates, yeah.
And after that interview, I thought, man, this is somebody we're going to have to keep our eye on to see how she does the rest of the year, because she was just so sharp in that interview, and then proved it again here in the interview right before you. And it's just been an honor to have you guys meet and officially get the plaque to her, and, of course, the scholarship. it's just what a great day for WKVI and for the family, for the Roth family.
Well, it's a great day for Olivia Marks, too.
Absolutely.
Wow, I can tell you, having coached against her the last 4 years, that she's very humble, very quiet. But I'm telling you, there's no more competitive person. She flip that switch.
She flips the switch,
and I tell you what, she's a silent killer.
She is, and Trine is very lucky to have her. And but hey, Mr. Roth, thank you so much for coming in. It means a lot to me, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tim Roth here on the Saturday Sports Line as we are going to take a break, come back and button things up. Chris and myself from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. This is the longest running high school sports show in Indiana. We aren't going anywhere. Big hit deep center field, and it's gone. A home run.
Unbelievable.
Molly Madsen brings 2 runners in. It's a 3-run homer for Molly Madsen, and that's going to make it 5-2. She got all of that one, Harold.
Wow, she sure did.
Babylon. Babylon.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
As this game is in the final moments here, big time hit, and that's going to be a walk-off RBI single for Brock Benson, and they sweep the Knox Redskins. 3 games this year, and the Blue Jays have the bragging rights in this cross-county battle. Nobody misses. What a way to end it for the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays.
And what a way to end it for us here on the final Saturday sports line of the 2022-2023 season. Chris, it's been an honor to work alongside you, buddy. Just listening to all those plays throughout the last 2 hours, and then hearing the interviews from our coaches and then our athlete of the year, Olivia Marks, it just kind of puts it in perspective for me a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing how fast time flies. I mean, like I said earlier, felt like yesterday we were just doing our very first show, and here we are wrapping it up for the year. Take a little hiatus here, and then come back when football season starts. So it's looking forward to it.
It's creeping up quick.
It'll be here before you know it.
I remember having more of a summer break. I just graduated in 2011. I remember having more of a summer break than this. This doesn't seem like you get much of a summer break anymore.
You don't. Especially, I've been teaching now, 22 years, somewhere around there. And, I get 1 month off.
That's it.
July is the only month where I don't have anything going on athletically. Again, the way things have changed, things are going on constantly throughout the year. Football, basketball, but it's year round now.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. That's a different conversation for a different day. But again, it's just it's one of those things. But this is something that I do look forward to, and like Coach Lambert said, it's for the kids. That's why we do what we do. To get up and do this every Saturday, for Harold to do it for as long as he did every Saturday, it's about the kids and giving recognition where it's rightly deserved.
And I think I've said this before. I grew up in Central Indiana. I had a local radio station. They'd broadcast the ball games, but there never was a Saturday sports line. There never was a Saturday show. There was nothing like this. So it really is something special here for this area, and just hearing the people when you go out, and like you've said, they come up to you and tell you they listen on Saturday morning. That just makes you want to come in the following Saturday morning.
Right,
It's just stuff like that keeps you going, and it's really a lot of fun. And you're right, it is about the kids, and without their fantastic athleticism and their plays, we wouldn't sound as exciting. We wouldn't have as great a time. And also, I wanted to thank our sponsors. I wanted to take this moment to thank all of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI sports sponsors: Coca-Cola, Culver's Portside Marina, Nepco Crane and Equipment Services, Farm Fertilizers, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, the Stark County Co-op, Marion University's Ancilla College, the Auto Park, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Collins Insurance, Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, and 5 Star. Without those sponsors, this tradition wouldn't be able to go on.
Right.
And I think if you're in the area and if you're at any of those businesses, that's where I would spend my money locally, with the people that want to support local athletics. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to continue the tradition that Harold Welter had set for all those years. And we appreciate our sponsors for not dropping off on me. They stuck with me this year. I was really happy about that. So that means a lot to me.
And, it does. And I can tell you, there's a lot of names on that list. One that sticks out to me, Jim Collins is somebody that I tell you what, would do anything. He's a big supporter.
Yeah.
And there's been times where we've been doing games and he'll send me a message during the contest listening, so or send me score updates. But again, it's going to be a little bit of a break here. You and I, we'll get together here in this time off, and we'll come up with some, try to run some ideas off of each other. And
we're still waiting on the meetup with Terry Minix. What happened there, Terry?
Right, yeah. But we'll get together though, and maybe the next season. We'll come up with some newer ideas and
still want to be on the sidelines.
Hope so.
That would be. We love that.
But I'm talking on the Saturday morning stuff. Maybe trying to do some stuff where we get more of the coaches together at the same time.
That'd be fun. Maybe a little breakfast.
Yeah.
Little finger foods and stuff. I don't know. Some of these guys are so competitive.
But that's the other thing too. We talk about the kids and all that, but too we build a relationship with these coaches.
Yep.
Mine's a little bit different. Yours is more radio sports guy, analyst, talk show. Me, I'm part of that brethren.
Right.
And so my relationship with them's a little bit different than yours.
Yeah,
but,
they got to be nice to me.
But yeah, again, it's it's just one of those things where this is fun.
It is.
This is to be able to come here and talk about high school athletics and talk about high school kids. It doesn't get any better.
Well, on top of the sponsors I also wanted to thank all the broadcasters that I worked with throughout football, basketball, and of course baseball and softball. Just going down, we had a lot of guys help us actually step in throughout the year. Wanted to give a big time thank you to all these guys: Scott Masters, Nathan Welter, Mike Zahner. Of course, he stepped in there at the end of football season. My good friend Joe Snep of Nepco Crane Services stepped in for a basketball game in the winter. Brian Hammond of Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Both of those guys are sponsors on our sports. Also, Paul Dunn, what a fantastic job he did in the spring, as well as Brian Leverins, the athletic director there at Winnemac. He stepped in for a baseball game, and boy, he is sharp when it comes to baseball. Also, Nathan Orger. I mean, my goodness. Pulaski County CDC Executive Director Nathan Orger. I mean, he is sharp when it comes to baseball. Appreciate him. Also appreciate Harold Welter. He stepped in for a softball game. And then, of course, Terry Minix. And I got to thank you, man. I got to thank Chris McGowan. I mean, I told you this yesterday. I don't think if I didn't have you to start that first Saturday sports line, and if I was sitting in the booth alone, I mean, you already saw me that first show. I was pretty worried.
Yeah, you were a little nervous.
And a little's overstated. I went back and listened. It took me about 5 weeks before it started sounding decent, in my opinion. But I really appreciate you being here. You kind of guided me along the way, as well as Harold Welter. But you were you kind of ushered me in with these coaches. You told me what to expect, what kind of questions to ask them. You kind of just helped me throughout the year. And then being down there on the sideline, I mean, I think I've told you that's just first class. I love it when I throw it down there to you and you're getting these interviews with coaches and getting all the inside access. I really appreciate you, Chris, and I wanted you to know that.
Well, thank you for allowing me to still be a part of it.
Oh, of course.
Because when Harold told me that he was done, I was like, well, okay. So if the next guy, I'm available.
I'll be in the lobby.
if the next guy wants me to be a part of it, but I understand if he wants to come and bring in his own own people. But
I didn't have anybody.
I didn't have anybody. So, but anyway, again, I appreciate that, and thank you for coming back to the area and continuing the tradition. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a big thank you. Also wanted to give a big time thank you to my better half, Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for being the support and moving up here with me. We were in Indianapolis. We lived in Broad Ripple, a big city. We were living it, and we loved it. We still love Indianapolis, but to come with me and move up here to Plymouth really means a lot, Sarah. I appreciate you. Also, big time thank you to my good friend Matt Ketchum down in Indianapolis. He tuned in every game, and he would text me. And he would say, Chris is sounding like this down there. He started to know us. He's never met you, but he listened to every broadcast. And I also want to thank our in-game announcer, also our Saturday Sports Line announcer, John Thompson. He worked here at WKVI in 2014 as an internship. Just got a group of guys here that I really appreciate, and just wanted to give a lot of thank yous before we sign off for our final time here on the Saturday Sports Line.
No better way.
No better way. Well, we'll see if we get renewed, so we'll see it. Well, it was a good run while it lasted. We'll see if we get renewed, but until then, let us know how you think it went. Either way, we take constructive criticism very well, so we sure do appreciate all of you listening here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. We'll see you in the fall, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I'll be here.
Chris McGowan, everybody. We appreciate him. And we appreciate Harold Welter and his support. 57 years of sports broadcasting excellence. We hope to continue that on. Until the fall, enjoy your summer. I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbi and Sports Analyst Chris McGowan.